There's some extremely common hair mistakes that I've noticed most of my clients are making without even realizing. Over time, they destroy the health of your hair and hold it back from ever looking as good as it should. I'm going to show you each of these bad habits and show you exactly what to do instead. And if you listen, you're going to see a major visual improvement in the health of your hair in just 1 week. Let's start with mistake number 1. A few months ago, one of my newer clients came in, we'll call her Gretchen, and she's like, I'm doing everything you say to do, but my ends are always fried and my hair never grows. So I'm like, no problem, walk me through your routine and we'll figure it out together. She shows me her shampoo, I'm like, okay, that's good. How about your leave-in conditioner? You know, every routine needs a leave-in conditioner, right? She's like, yeah, I got this one right here. I'm like, okay, that's great too. What about your oil? You know you need to use oil to stop your ends from splitting, right? She's like, yeah, you told me last time, I know what I'm doing. This is the oil I use. I'm like, that's a great oil. Your ends should be a lot better than they are. So I think for a second, then I ask her, how much oil are you actually using? She says, just a little bit on wash days. And this is a critical mistake that so many people make. It seems fine to only use oil on wash days because that's the way you use most products. So you need to think of oil as like food for your hair. You'd never go 3 days without food yourself, so you can't make your hair go 3 days without oil.
Unless you're doing that stupid ice cube diet.
Yeah, no fasting. Your hair does not fast. But most people do, so their ends dry up, split, and break off, and then they wonder why they have unhealthy ends. It's been about 6 months since Gretchen started using oil daily. Her ends are immaculate. She's grown inches of length after struggling for years, and I expect that her hair will be down to her mid-back in the next year or so. Mistake number 2. You may recognize this famous heat styler. I heard she sings or some other stuff, but for me, she's famous for always having a good heat style. But let me ask you, do you think she's ruining her hair with her heat styling habit? Obviously not, because her hair looks so good that haircare brands are paying her a lot of money to be in their advertisements. But let me ask you an even better question. Do you think she would still be getting paid to be a hair influencer if she air dried her hair?
Absolutely not.
No, there's no way. My point is that you are not being safe or responsible by air drying your hair and then putting it up in a bun. That's the hair equivalent of Bubble Boy who never leaves his bubble because he's afraid something bad might happen. You and your hair need to live. You need to let it loose like the wild stallion that it wants to be. What I mean is that when you were back in high school and everyone was flat ironing their hair in the morning before they went to school, and then they went to the bathroom to flat iron it again, and you ran out of heat protectant because your mom wouldn't buy you more, so you ended up frying your hair and you were afraid to ever heat style again. You need to give heat styling another shot as an adult because heat protectants are amazing these days, and as long as you wait 3 days to heat style again, you aren't gonna do any damage. The people with the best hair are always heat stylers. The celebrities whose hair you love, it's always heat styled. It forces you to pay more attention to your hair and get a real hair routine instead of just throwing it up in a bun. This is the type of thing that changes people's personality. Mistake number 3. All right, this next mistake blows a ton of my clients' minds when I tell them it's ruining their hair. I used to have a client who we'll call Cher. Roll. She grew up in the 80s, so she really loved her sprays, hair sprays, texture sprays, mousse, salt sprays, anything that pops out of a bottle when you press it, she loved it. Every time we finished her appointment, she'd be like, can I see that hairspray? And she'd use the entire can on her head while I just cringed. But one day she's like, Chris, my shine spray got discontinued. What all shine sprays do you recommend? And I said, Cher, Rule, I never recommend shine sprays. They're the worst way to make your hair shiny. She's like, what do you mean? Everybody wants shiny hair. It's the best. I go, yeah, you want shiny hair, but you don't want to get it from a shine spray. The best way to get shiny hair is to focus on just getting healthy hair. When your hair's healthy, it automatically has a natural, vibrant shine to it that puts fake shine products to shame. And the way you get that healthy hair shine is from the healthy hair product tree. These are the only 3 product categories necessary to get your hair super healthy. They're not optional. Each product is mandatory, and I call this the Trinity routine. But a lot of people like Cher Rule, they don't even know this healthy hair tree is a thing. So they skip this and go straight to styling products and never get good shine. This is for you, Les. If your hair were dinner, health products would be like your steak and potatoes, and the styling products are like the dessert. Health products should be most everything, and then styling products are like a little bit of dessert. If you need help finding the right health products for your hair, check out my recommended product list in the description. It'll help you find your hair type and the best products for it. Mistake number 4. So I have a client with fine hair, let's call her Thelma. One day she says, Chris, I know you say to go at least 3 days between washes, but my hair always gets so oily I have to wash after 2. I'm like, oh, that's an easy fix. Fine hair always gets greasy really quickly. The trick is to use dry shampoo to keep your hair clean on that 3rd day. But she's skeptical, like, I don't know, is that even a real product? I'm like, oh, no, you don't understand. Dry shampoo is one of the most important hair products out there. Dry shampoo extends your wash cycle. In your case, where you would wash every 2 days, you go from washing 15 times a month to only having to wash 10 times a month. That's a lot less wear and tear from washing and styling your hair all the time, less time spent on your hair, and all your wash day products, shampoo, conditioner, all that other stuff that you have to use every time, they last you way longer because you don't wash as often. And just 1 bottle of dry shampoo will save you from all of that. So please, the next time your hair gets dirty, do not immediately wash it. Constant washing strips your hair of moisture. Use dry shampoo to go longer. Mistake number 5. I have a client that we'll call Sonia. She lives up in the north where it's cold, but she spends her winters down in Florida by my salon because it's nice and warm. But this winter, when she came down, I noticed her hair was much more damaged. I wanted to say, my God, man, what have you been doing with your hair? But I didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Yeah, by calling her a man.
Anyway, right before she leaves, she actually brought it up herself. She goes, I don't know what's up with my hair. It just doesn't look nearly as good lately. And it's much harder to style. So I ask her, have you changed anything in your routine? She thinks and says, the only thing it might be is I started going to bed with my hair wet. Is it really that bad? I go, well, it depends. Are you still heat styling it? She goes, yeah, I switched to doing it in the morning. But for some reason, it's always really frizzy afterwards and I have to keep touching it up. And that right there was the reason her hair was so damaged now. You always want to style your hair while it's still wet from the wash. That's when your hair is most ready to accept a style. On the other hand, if you let your hair air dry overnight, and even if you fight it with enough heat to get it to look good, it's always going to go back to that weird shape that it air dried in. You're going to have to touch it up over and over, which will start to damage your hair over time. And damaged hair requires even more heat to get it looking good. It's a vicious cycle that Leslie calls the air dry death spiral. So please style your hair right after you wash it while it's actually ready to accept the style. Don't try to fight your air dried hair. You're just going to ruin it. Mistake number 6. Next up is a client that we'll call Cordelia. She comes in once a week for a blow dry, so she actually never has to do her own hair at all. But one day she calls in and she says, hey Chris, do you mind if I switch stylists? The one I'm with now, her blowouts don't last nearly as long as my other ones, and I end up having to redo it myself. I'm like, of course, you can be with whatever stylist you choose. Doesn't matter to me. And she's awesome. She goes, great, thanks, looking forward to it. Everything's cool. But now I have to figure out why one of my stylist blowouts aren't lasting so the rest of her clients don't leave her. So I go to her and I say, hey, I just talked to Cordelia. She says her blowouts aren't lasting and her hair gets oily really quickly. Any idea why? She's like, no, I can't think anything. I don't use any heavy products on her. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's nothing, but just in case, let's have you do a blowout on Leslie's hair and see how long that lasts. Literally 1 minute into the wash and Leslie's like, oh, I know exactly what it is. You aren't scrubbing hard enough. And this is an absolutely crucial mistake that I see a ton of my clients making. Washing your hair is not like washing your hands. You can't just splish splash some water and spread the suds around. There's an actual physical layer of oil on your scalp that you have to break up with your fingertips to lift. Washing your hair is not about getting your mids and ends clean. It's all about getting the buildup on your scalp and roots. And by the way, half of my clients are making this mistake. This is not like some rare occurrence that I never see. So in your next wash, try really getting in there with your fingertips and see how much longer your hair stays clean, because washing your hair all the time will ruin it. Mistake number 7. Believe it or not, getting healthy hair is a solved problem. We already have the answer. The only problem is a ton of people don't know it, so they're still using a high school hair routine. This is really similar to your high school skin routine. You start out really simple. You use the same thing to wash your face as you did wash your body, and then you called it a day. But as you got older, you had to worry about blemishes, and people told you to get a separate face wash. After that, maybe your older sister pointed out that you have dry skin, and she showed you to use a lotion or a moisturizer or whatever. I'm not a skincare person. But the point is, you started with one product and split it into multiple products, and it's time to do the exact same thing with your hair products. Most people don't realize the drugstore shampoos are actually a 3-in-1 product. They're supposed to get your hair clean, make it soft and shiny, and stop your ends from splitting. But you may have noticed that they just coat your hair and build up, weigh it down, and they don't do a thing to stop your ends from splitting. 3-in-1 products never do a good job of anything. It's not their fault, it's just impossible for one product to do everything. So we want to get rid of the 3-in-1 and use 3 separate products that do an amazing job for all those things. It's the Trinity routine. If you aren't using this yet, it's an absolute game changer. The results are not even close. You can read the comments if you want to see more. If you need help figuring out the exact products for your specific hair type, remember you can check out my recommended product list. Links in the description, has a hair type quiz and walks you through everything. Have a good one.
No, you have a good one.